Welcome to In the Box Seat. I'm Ray Fewings. It's been a great week for greyhound racing. Last Thursday night at Angle Park, it was the stayers that really captured the attention, with, of course, 40-20 winning the 700. Just got a bit tired at the finish, and there's probably 2 or 3 tenths improvement left in him, I would think. And, of course, the outstanding win was Calden Mayhem, who was back from Sydney after an inglorious 25 lengths beaten performance, and came out and had the race won virtually within the first 100 metres. We found out after the race that what really happened in Sydney was that the fireworks from Darling Harbour had frightened hell out of the dog. They were taken back to the kennel house, and when Troy Murray went to get his dog out again for the race, he was being dragged along behind. He didn't want to take any part, and that's the reason why he never did a thing at Wentworth Park. But it was great to see him back to his very best, and he spread eagled the field last Thursday. Now he goes around in the final of that 600 metre race at Angle Park on Thursday night. But for me, I can't wait until we see Satanic Cash, 40-20 and Calden Mayhem all together in a 700 metre race here at Angle Park. I think it'll be an absolute beauty. Of course, the Breeders' Plate continues with the semi-finals on Thursday night. I'm already tipping Hannah McLaren and Goosebumps. I think they've both drawn the 3, and I think they'll win their respective semis. A couple of very smart greyhounds. Also on coming up this weekend, interstate, we've got the Warrnambool Cup. We've got the Breeders' Plate semis, as I mentioned. Maitland, they've got the Maitland Gold Cup. You get some very good, smart performers on the horseshoe track there at Maitland. Sandown Park, it's the stayers, the Henry Harrison. For the memorial there. It's a time-tested event. And we have at Wentworth Park the Evan and Son Jewellers Ladies Bracelet continues there. It's been going for a week or two, and Graham Bader's heavily involved in that with a number of outstanding bitches. Breeders' Plate, it's a great thing for South Australian greyhounds, and there's no doubt about it, Goosebumps is making an absolute welter of it in picking up most of these prelude races. So great thing if you've got a South Australian bred. Now, Angle Park on Wednesday, the Honeys have been reading my mail. I picked out 3 good things for Wednesday, and lo and behold, they've come up with 2 of them. Bandana Lad, race 1, number 1. He looks a grading, certainly. He won here on Thursday night. He's quite a talented greyhound when he applies himself, and Troy Murray's got him back firing. And the other one they went for that I also thought was a good thing was one I saw win at Strath a couple of weeks ago, Octane Surf. Now, she's a sister to Brahma Boy. She's only had a handful of starts for John Mundy, and she looks very hot. And she's drawn box 1 there in race number 5. But I've got one the Honeys didn't spot, and that is Dinah Rita, race 2, number 5. It's a wheeler dog that's come over from Victoria. It's struck the weakest maiden you've ever seen and should be an absolute Monty. Now, the Honeys for Thursday night are going race 1, number 2, Flying Molly. A good greyhound, just been missing the kick lately. Has got a heap of fourths to its credit, working its way down through the grades, and the Honeys say, make Flying Molly your best. The first 4 for that event is 2, 1, 5, 7 on race 1. And then in race 2, they've gone for number 1, Jokin Cahale. I'm not going to argue with the Honeys, but this greyhound has got a ton of ability, but he's got one very, very bad habit. He doesn't get down in the boxes. He stands bolt upright, and as a result, he often misses the start. And he does seem to be better to me from the outside. So, Honeys, I'm going to disagree with you. I think Jokin Cahale wants the pink. Now, the first 4 there, they say it'll be 1, 3, 7 and 5. Now, there's a heap of racing on this coming weekend. On 7th of May on the Saturday, Port Augusta have got a day meeting. On the 8th, the Virginia have got a coursing meeting there on the Sunday. Same day, Mount Gambier having a matinee, and later a twilight at Strathalbyn. So plenty happening there. Dogs to watch, as I mentioned, Wednesday, I think you can back a treble there. Bandana Lad, Dinah Rita, Octane Surf, and the 2 favourites for the Breeders' Plate on the Thursday in Hannah McLaren and Goosebumps. I'll be back in a moment. We're going to go to the country. Port Pirie trainer Roger Harris has got a couple of very smart dogs, one in particular, Bar Fridge. He'll be joining us in a mo. Our guest on In the Box Seat this week is one of our country trainers who's got a very smart dog at the moment. I'm referring to Roger Harris from Port Pirie. Welcome.
Thanks very much, Ray.
You've got Bar Fridge back after a time off with injury and been quite impressive at Angle Park in recent weeks.
Yeah, he's had, I think it's 8 starts in here for 5 wins and a couple of placings, and this is his second. He's having his second start back, from an injury, and he is pretty smart on his day. But 3 times now he's been injured, and each time he's come back pretty well.
He was very impressive in winning a heat of the Piri Cup. Broke down in the final, and I gather he's been injury prone throughout his career.
Yeah, well, I think they had a bit of injury problem before I got him, and then first time I ever trialled him, he done a monkey muscle, and then he started having trouble with his hock, and missed about 2 months with that. So, yeah, he has been once. He's if I can get enough racing under his belt, I think he may be a bit sounder.
Well, you don't mind messing around with a dog with the ability he's got, because he's brilliant early, and he's certainly registered some great splits.
Yeah, I think that's the way he needs to be. He's got a bit early pace, he needs that, and he's got a very good second section, and if he get the early pace, get the clear run early, he needs to be able to use that. I don't think it's a dog will come from behind, because I think he needs to use that section down the back, and if he's in behind dogs, you won't get a chance to do that.
And you've got another dog in the kennel at the moment, a former Don Foster greyhound, Shankhill Sal, just trying to work to get to know it and get it through the grades.
Yeah, I've had about 7-8 starts with it, and she won a couple up at Port Augusta, and ran a third down at Gawler, and she's one of those dogs that she needs to be up on the pace early. She's more or less just a one-pace dog, but she's an honest little trier.
They're the only two you got, Roger?
I've got one other one at the moment, Oakdale Red, which I haven't had a start with. He might have a run this week at Port Augusta.
So how are you getting on up there with Piri being closed down? How are you keeping your dogs fit?
Yeah, it is a problem for us. It's very, very disappointing, because when you close down the track, you also close down your training facilities. And, a couple of times I've had to come down to Gawler or come down to Hurley's, and, it's a 5-hour trip for me, there and back. So it does take a little bit of fun out of it.
Now, you work in the smelters at Piri. I guess a lot of people work in the smelters.
Yeah, I've been down there for 38 years or something, but things have changed over the time. There's a couple of thousand people worked there when I started, and it's probably about 600 now. But I've been there for 38 years. And
someone whispered to me that you weren't a bad footballer. Just having a look at you, I reckon you've either copped a couple of head-high tackles, or maybe you've been a boxer as well.
I probably did mix it up a little bit, but I enjoyed football for a long time.
What do you ruckman wear?
I've done ruckman and a lot of forward. But I played 300-400 games, I suppose, if you added them all up.
Goodness me, and you're still walking all right and not limping.
You haven't seen me. You watch me in the morning, it's a bit different.
A bit like me, you sort of get out of bed on your hands and knees. Which team did you play for up there?
Actually,
the lot.
Yeah, actually, that's just about right. I came from up Laura Gladstone way, and that's where I started all my junior footy, and then I went across to Piri and played, 250 games over there or something, and I ended up coaching 3 different sides there, and did come down this way for a couple of years with Port Adelaide once, but that's going back when I was a youngster, a fair while ago now.
I think we might need you back there now. I reckon you'd still be better than the ones we've got in the ruck, so you better consider a comeback.
I think them days are well gone, mate.
Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you, Roger. Have a lot of fun with this dog, Bar Fridge, and I just got a feeling if you can get him right, there's a big race in him somewhere. You win a feature with him, I think. Yeah,
I'd love to do that. I would love to win the Piri Cup. I think, Hometown Cup, you would love to win it, and he went started odds on favourite in it, but drew box 8 and didn't get across, and that was the end of the section. But I'd love to. I think he deserves to win a good race. He's put together some good runs, but if we can keep him sound enough, hopefully he can go through his grades down here and pick up a reasonable sort of race.
I reckon he will. Thank you very much, Roger Harris, our special guest on In the Box Seat. Just hang in there, keep backing those good dogs, and you'll back a lot of winners.